right here, Stephen A. 1181 for all your podcasting needs today. Greg got in touch with me early this morning. He's now working a different shift, so we have to shift our schedule for this month. He should be back next month on his normal schedule. We'll keep you in touch of what time we'll be going live next week. I wasn't sure if he's available today or not, but I got some texting going back and forth with him. So we shall see if he's able to do it today. If not, we will definitely get his thoughts on predictions later on as soon as we can. So, all right. So he's still at work, and I'm going to text him real quick and talk payback. We're going to get those predictions in. Sorry. Dead air. We need to stop that. So, all right. Anyways, get those predictions in for Greg. We'll get your prediction. He'll get his predictions on All Out as well. So busy weekend. Tonight we have Tonight we have WWE's Payback streaming on Peacock. So we'll go ahead and just get into some picks for this. Last night we got the word, or maybe a couple nights ago, that John Cena, obviously he's going to be back for the time being, the next month or so, maybe next couple months, just I think due to the screen, the Actors Guild striking and the writer's strike. So it looks like John Cena's got some free time available, and he will be hosting tonight. I'm thinking it leads to a match with Jimmy Uso at some point, because him and Jimmy had a little, encounter last night, and Jimmy Uso probably obviously looking for some payback, or maybe we'll get. Looks like AJ Styles got involved as well, so maybe just John Cena, AJ Styles, tag team action against Solo and Jimmy Uso, kind of getting them back on the same page. So it should be fun to have John Cena back tonight, and possibly a Fastlane, which we will be attending here in Indianapolis. So fun to have John Cena back for the time being. And, this, you could tell it's getting towards the end of his road. And, when he finally hangs it up, that next year, we already know who will be the headliner for the Hall of Fame. So, but, enjoy him while we can. And it's amazing to see, how different he is, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, just where he is at mentally, I think with his place in WWE. So, really cool for him to put people over, get involved with younger talent like Grayson Waller, like Austin Theory, and, we'll see what he could do maybe with Jimmy Uso at the time being, or Solo. So, speaking of tag teams action, we finally get Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn defending their tag team belts against Finn Balor and Damian Priest. I think, this is all Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the win. Rhea Ripley mentioned there could be changes. I think that's where we're heading. I think we're heading to a complete split of the Judgment Day. Damian Priest on his own, Rhea and Dom together, and then Finn and JD kind of doing tag team stuff and maybe going off single stuff here and there. And, I think the biggest thing is, when does Damian Priest cash in? It definitely looks like it's going to happen, with Seth Rollins at some point. Just not sure when and where and how and why and all that good stuff, but we shall see. My official prediction, and I'm guessing Greg's, is Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the win here. Let's get into Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch steel cage match. This should all be Becky. Move ahead. Trish is really enjoying her heel run, so it should be interesting to see where Trish and Zoe go after this. But Becky needs to get out of this and move on and see where else she can go. And Trish and Zoe need to get out of this and see where they can go. So I'm calling for the win by Becky Lynch and moving ahead. Cody Rhodes will be on the Grayson Waller effect. Does this lead to an impromptu match, or maybe, matches heading into it? I could definitely see that, even if it's a short match tonight, kind of get some rivalry going there for the time being. Or, like people brought up, maybe John Cena and Cody Rhodes going at it, kind of a, putting over, John Cena putting over Cody Rhodes at the door. So, but I think this ultimately is Grayson Waller, Cody Rhodes kind of going at it. Let's see what Grayson Waller can do with Cody, the top face right now. So, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez going at it. Rhea for the win. I don't think we've seen the end of this rivalry, though. I think this, we're going to visit this for a little bit. I think Raquel's time is going to come WrestleMania next year. Win, Royal Rumble, and then position high to get that title. So Rhea Ripley getting the better for right now. How about the Miz and Miz and LA Knight? This is a really tough one because I usually like the heel to get the better in at the first match just so it leaves that doubt. But LA Knight is so darn hot. It is hard to pick against LA Knight. But I'm still going to pick the Miz in this one. I think the Miz wins by some cheap method, gets the win. Because this feels like a few months feud. It doesn't feel like this is a one and done. So I definitely think the Miz picks up the win here to kind of keep that going. And then LA Knight, ultimately gets the win when it's all said and done. Because whose game is it? It's LA Knight's game. How about Austin Theory and Rey Mysterio? Do we see Austin Theory get the title back? No, we do not. I think this is Rey Mysterio moving ahead. LWO getting, a big win at Payback. Not sure where Theory goes. I think the Theory Waller tag team could be really something, and then one of them obviously gets sick of the other. But tonight's match we do get Rey Mysterio in the win. And finally, this is another rivalry. I think we just started it, so I don't think we're going to end it yet. Shinsuke Nakamura, really getting a reboot of his character and just looking ridiculously good. It's amazing, when Shinsuke feels motivated, kind of looks motivated. He's kind of got the Orton syndrome where I think he needs the right feud to really fit his footing, so to speak, as he's taking out the back of Seth Rollins. This is where people have called in for a Damian Priest cash in. I just don't see it tonight. And that's probably why it's going to happen. But I'm going to call Nakamura for I'm going to call Seth Rollins for the win, but Nakamura ultimately standing tall at the end of the night. We could also see Nakamura winning with a DQ win. Maybe Damian Priest gets involved. That kind of screws things up. But ultimately, I think Nakamura needs to stand tall at the end of tonight with the main event, with all that happening. So those are my predictions. So I'm going to call for John Cena, the host, maybe get involved with Jimmy Uso, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens for the win, Rhea for the win, Miz for the win, Rey Mysterio for the win, Cody Rhodes and Grayson Waller possibly scuffling in the ring, leading to a match, Becky Lynch for the win, and Seth Rollins for the win. Nakamura for the DQ win tonight. So, not getting the title yet. I would love to see Nakamura get a title run, though. It should have happened with Styles. It should have happened with Jinder. A lot of shouldas with Nakamura. So, not sure if this is the right time tonight. But maybe somehow getting Nakamura that title would be awesome to see, especially with this reboot of his character. And, maybe there's some Japanese tour down the road, and that can really set him up for being a hometown hero. So, I also wanted to look at, let's do some commercial break real quick so we can get these commercials in, get your sponsors some love, and then we will get into AEW. We're going to talk All In last week, get you some comments on that, and then look right into All Out happening tomorrow night in Chicago. Yes, Chicago, home of a certain someone that we haven't heard anything on, but we could get some news on him tonight, and I will get more into that right after this bit of sponsorship.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Dan over at BWSPORTS1.com and Black and White Sports. And I'm wondering if you're ready to buy or sell that home, now's the time, and I got just the person for you. Mr. Sean Nugent, a.k.a. Rockstar Realtor himself. 317-503-8322. Put that home on the market. Get into your dream home with this man. Talk to Sean at Talk to Tucker today, 317-503-8322, and make sure you tell him the boys over at BWSports1.com sent you.
Alrighty, let's get into some all-in results from 2023. Big, huge crowd, awesome, spectacular, just good visuals. The crowd was into it. The matches really delivered. It was just a good event overall. And then they announced that they will be back there in London next year. So it looks like we're going to get a little bit of, London and Chicago back to back next year as well. We also had the other end of the spectrum where there was drama involved. CM Punk, Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Jack Perry's quoted as saying, was possibly said he was looking for backstage heel heat. CM Punk on his face. Samoa Joe had to calm it down. That's good to hear about Samoa Joe. And that's why Samoa Joe is who he is. Locker room leader, does the right thing. Friends with Punk, I think. It's hard to know who is friendly with Punk anymore. But it just is another one of those, instances that you have such a big event. You had a lot of good stuff happen, and then we're talking about the drama part of it, which, let's face it, the drama is what kind of drives drives the news. Just look at all aspects of news. If a sports team doesn't have drama, they're boring. If an actor, musician does have some drama, there's not much talked about them. So I still think we would have talked about this because of all the good matches and the MJF, Adam Cole. Kind of hug it out at the end of it. Where's that headed? Saraya winning her title in her home country. You had Stadium Stampede. You had FTR getting shunned by the Young Bucks. I mean, there was plenty of little things to talk about, but we did have to kind of start with that bit of news. So, looking at the beginning of the night, we did have MJF, Adam Cole open the night. I called for this all along. I think you needed them to win those Ring of Honor titles to put that bit of doubt of what things would unfold if they had to come to blows at the end of the night, which they didn't, but you still needed that drama there, and who knows what might happen with these titles as we go ahead. They are going to defend them tomorrow night against the Dark Order. Interested to see, can the Dark Order finally win something big? That's what we've been talking about all along. So, but MJF, Adam Cole, I keep wanting to say Michael Cole. Darn you, Michael Cole, in the words of Bailey. He's on my brain for some weird reason. But anyways, MJF, Adam Cole, baby, pick up the win, pick up the titles, and they're rolling. And we will talk about their match at the end of the night. Hook defeated Jungle Boy Jack Perry to get the FTW Championship. And I think it needs to be retired. Let Hook, and Taz come out and say, you know what? We got it back. Hook is going to go do what he needs to do. And this title's retired and move on from that. CM Punk defeated Samoa Joe. Really good match. Lots of back and forth. There was that tinge of me that just wanted Samoa Joe to win the damn title. I've said it last week with Mark Dighton from 107.5 The Fan, 93.5 The Fan, and here Sports Talk Radio with him. And Samoa Joe does everything right. It just hasn't won the big one. It feels like in forever. His Ring of Honor World Title back in the day. Don't know if he ever won the TNA title in his time. It just feels like one of those guys that doesn't necessarily need a title. He does have the TV title, of ROH, which he will defend against Shane Taylor, a guy who I've never seen, never heard of. So I'll be interested to see it because that looks like a hoss fight waiting to happen. But CM Punk comes out with the win, really playing to the crowd as much as he could. So Takeshita, Juice Robinson, and Jay White defeat the Golden Lovers and Hangman Adam Page. But we're going to get Omega and Takeshita tomorrow night. And that is a definite, I'm playing, if I'm playing Booker as we like to do, I'm giving Takeshita the big win and letting him really have that over Kenny Omega. And if they never lock horns again, that's okay. Let Takeshita have that big moment. But not, I thought Ibushi did a little bit more in this match, which was better than the blood and guts stuff he did. Um, just some good stuff here and there. So FTR picks up the win. Talking about legacy, and we're always, talking about who's the better tag team of all time. I don't think this is the last we've seen of FTR and Young Bucks, especially after the way it ended. You had the Young Bucks kind of playing up, not wanting to do the handshake. Maybe they'll give the handshake at some point. It might be after they win the titles, but then FTR might not want to do it. So it'll be interesting how this all shakes out. But FTR Young Bucks definitely delivered. Stadium Stampede was a lot of fun. There was different things happening. We got the skewers involved again. We had handcuffs involved. You had barbed wire involved. I was waiting for flaming tables. We got tables involved, ladders involved. I mean, you had a little bit of everything. You had Penta come back as Penta Red. So you had him kind of playing that character up now. Eddie Kingston, wanting to mix it up with Claudio. When in the world are we getting our Claudio and Eddie Kingston one-on-one match? Because that definitely needs to happen sooner rather than later. I mean, I don't know why we're not doing it tomorrow night. We are going to get a tag team match for them. But we should have really been doing a one-on-one match. So hopefully that comes down the road. And Orange Cassidy, it just continues to look like a beast. And him and Jon Moxley will get to main event tomorrow night. This is one of those weird things, with MJF, already doing main event with the title. I really like the idea of main eventing with Orange Cassidy, with Jon Moxley. This is Orange Cassidy's first ever main event. And with this international title, you're really building this thing up. So whoever gets it next at a good footing. And that's just awesome to see. So next up, we have Saraya getting the hometown win. And we get to see Toni Storm continue her unraveling, as it were. So I love seeing that. And, Britt Baker, Sheeta, just a quick run for Sheeta. And that is a little worrisome, but it looks like there's other booking in the works for her. So Sting and Darby Allin, yes, picked up the win. We had Nick Wayne get involved. We had Luchasaurus get involved. Ultimately, Sting and Darby Allin get the win. That's all needs to be said there. Will Ospreay defeated Jericho, gets a hometown love in his country, and now he's going to roll ahead and see where he can go next. Jericho, looked fine in it. It just still awesome. It's crazy to think, Jericho in the time being. So I really wanted to hear Greg's thoughts on this one because I cannot believe this happened. So we have the Acclaim picked up a win with Billy Gunn against House of Black, who is rolling. I love the open house rules. I love the presentation of House of Black. I love Julia Hart's involvement with it. But, I guess they thought the idea of the Acclaim and the Guns were hot and Billy Gunn was hotter, and giving them special titles on Wednesday night that actually scissor each other, which is really cool. You do hear me chuckling in that regard. I got to give them some love on that and, playing that up. But still not sure by that booking decision. So, and MJF ultimately defeats Adam Cole. We get overtime, as it were. We had, MJF, Adam Cole hugging the night. Not sure what is next. I mean, I guess we're going to see who's going to get the Grand Slam, opportunity against MJF. Oh, Big Ben is in here. Oh, he is excited about John Cena. Yes, I see there's a good build up for John Cena, just kind of doing this retirement tour, as I'm calling it, for him. So, and I have Greg popping in, giving his thoughts. So we will make sure we get those predictions as we get into it. So if not, you can always check out the Superkick with Steven and Greg Facebook page. If you haven't already, definitely do that, and we'll have those posted up as well. But let's get right into it. Let's look at some of these matches happening. I think let's start with Darby and Luchasaurus because you have Christian Cage involved, playing up that he's the champion when he really isn't. So I think this is a good opportunity for Luchasaurus to pick up the win. That's my prediction to kind of get that win and build himself up as the rightful champion. So I'm going to go Luchasaurus for the win there. Um, let's look at the 8-man tag team match. We're going to have FTR Young Bucks teaming up against Bullet Club Gold. This is another one. Do FTR walk out on the Young Bucks to kind of build that rivalry up and let that play out and give Bullet Club Gold a big win over all of them. And maybe they're built up as tag team opportunities next. But so I'm going to go with Bullet Club Gold for the win. I think they need it more. I think you could play up some miscommunication, and that gives FTR and the Young Bucks an out as why they lost. So, MJF, Adam Cole are winning, no doubt about it. If the Dark Order wins, they win, but I just don't see anything happening there. Chris Statlander should pick up the win over Ruby Soho, even though Ruby's another one. When will she finally kind of get that big signature win? She should have won the Owen Hart trophy on the women's side, and she did not. But this is going to be Chris Statlander. I think it'll be a decent match. Nothing really too much to talk about there. Samoa Joe picking up a win over Shane Taylor. A good win for him. Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs. This one, I feel like you could give us a double count out, double DQ. I think you can give us an out with this one. And obviously, I'm talking out both sides of my mouth. If I had to pick, I guess I'll go Miro over Powerhouse just to kind of, build him up. He hasn't had a win on TV in a while. So I'm going to pull the trigger on Claudio and Wheeler Yuta to pick up the win. That could build up a way for Eddie Kingston and Claudio to get involved. So I'm going to go with, BCC over there. And I know it's not going to happen. It probably won't happen, but it should happen. I'm going to go for Takeshita over Kenny Omega tonight. I really think that needs to be or tomorrow night. Sorry. I really want to see Takeshita pick up the win there. And finally, the main event, Jon Moxley, Orange Cassidy. Does the streak finally end here? I don't think so. I think Orange Cassidy standing tall at the end of a pay-per-view would be huge for him. And it's big for the title. Closing out the evening, having him hold it up. And, Moxley, maybe there's some weird way that, Moxley's protected. He's fine. I don't, whatever way he loses, people are still going to be wanting to see him the next day. So, but I think Orange Cassidy's deserved this moment. He's earned it. He just needs this moment of standing tall in Chicago. I think the crowd will be pumped for him. And I think we're really going to see a cool moment for him there. So, those are my quick and dirty thoughts on all things happening. Greg is messaging me right now, so let's get some of his thoughts. He is going to go with Luchasaurus for the win, thanks to Christian Cage. He's going to go Bullet Club for the win, but he sees Bullet Club Gold. He does see dissension, like I said. He's going to say Joe coming out of the way. He's going to see Miro over Hobbs, Statlander over Soho, Kenny, so we'll call Kenny Omega over Takeshita. He's going to go with Adam Cole, MJF retaining BCC over Team Kingston, and Orange Cassidy. He's going to go with my pick as well of Orange Cassidy over Jon Moxley. Huge win for huge win for Orange Cassidy. I think celebrating it right. Those are those thoughts. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy wrestling. College football's back. Not week 0, week 1. Just a lot of stuff happening. Personal notes for me. Happy birthday Thursday to my brother James. Celebrated 29. The big 130 is next year. But my Grandma Betty, Grandma Collins, as we like to call her, my mom's side, celebrated 100 years young. You make me feel so young, as they say in the words of Old Blue Eyes. And we are going to celebrate with a huge bash, big speakers blasting Frank Sinatra all day there at her house. Hopefully she could come out with us to the house, outside, get everybody's loving for her. And happy birthday. Even though she does not love the wrestling, as it were, she would support this show. I'm sure if I could find it on YouTube for her to watch one day, maybe I will do that. But give my grandma all the loving today, tomorrow, all the years to come. Happy birthday, 100th birthday to my grandma. Just awesome to see. I got to spend some time with her on Thursday for her birthday and yesterday. We were setting up stuff, getting it ready, all for the big bash because, you turn 100, you deserve a big bash. I think all birthdays are big, but 100 is huge. So, and like I said, my brother James celebrating 30th next year. My brother Greg will be celebrating 40th next year. We have we got some big birthdays coming up next year. But yeah, I think it's going to be fun times happening with all of wrestling this weekend. Tonight's Payback on the Peacock Network. Watch it, love it. And then All Out. Oh, sorry, I was going to bring up, do we see CM Punk and Ricky Starks go at it in the strap match? Yes. I don't think we're suspending CM Punk. Whatever you want to do with Jack Perry, whatever. That's probably why he ate he eats the L. But yeah, I think CM Punk makes the appearance tonight, and that sets up CM Punk, Ricky Starks in a strap match. It'd be awesome for Ricky Starks to pick up the big win there, but I don't see that happening. So we shall see what unfolds tonight for Collision. That's what we got to see. So thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting wrestling. Thank you for supporting this podcast. Go subscribe, like all that good stuff. Leave comments below your own predictions. I'm going to give Greg his loving for predictions in the chat today. We will have good graphics for you, and you can tell your own predictions. And yeah, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy your Labor Day. And let's all take a good rest on Monday because we've earned it. So thank you for watching. Enjoy the day.